Welcome to the next video on dosage calculations. We are going over one of my favorite mathematical analyses, dimensional analysis. For those of you who do not identify as math people, this is for you, okay? This takes all of the guesswork out of unit conversions, and it basically sets up a neat, nice little roadmap that tells us exactly where to go. Before you watch this video, please know that what we're about to do is only truly understandable if you understand how to reduce and simplify fractions, how to cancel items in the numerator and denominator, how to divide the numerator and denominator by a common factor in order to make a fraction smaller. If you do not understand how to do those things, please revisit those concepts and then come back to this video. So the point of dimensional analysis is to automatically cancel conversion units. Well, that of course begs the question, what even is a conversion unit? It's any unit that is used during a conversion problem that is not the final unit remaining. So let's take a look. Here we have just an example of a quick dimensional analysis problem that I whipped up for this. We've got 3 units. Here we have teaspoons. We have teaspoons here. We have tablespoons here in green, and then we have milliliters. Now, we have these 3 different units, but only one is going to be in our final answer. And the way that we tell which one that is we cancel the units that we can. All right, so let's do it. We have a teaspoon in the numerator and a teaspoon in the denominator, so we can cancel those. Those are going to be gone. We have a tablespoon in a numerator and a tablespoon in a denominator, so those are going to be canceled out. And we're left with 15 milliliters, which means that our conversion units for this particular problem were tablespoons and teaspoons. Not that it truly matters, because all that matters is that they're gone now. So don't stress too much about that definition. So we just saw a pre-set up dimensional analysis equation. How do we set up our own? It's a good question. Step 1. Find your given. Your given is whatever number and unit the problem gives to you that you know everything about. I like to think of dimensional analysis as a map that gets us from our home, somewhere that we're familiar with, somewhere that we know the surroundings, we know the number, we know the unit, right? To somewhere that we don't know. Maybe we know a little bit about it. Maybe we're trying to get to a sushi restaurant that just opened downtown. We know it's a sushi restaurant, we know it's downtown, but we don't have the exact address. So maybe we have the unit, but we don't have the exact number. All right, so our given is where we live. Our given is the information that we already have in our pockets. So here we have an example of a problem that you might see, a word problem that you might see that would require dimensional analysis. You give 2 tablespoons of medicine to a sick child. How many milliliters are you providing at each dose? We have 2 numbers here. We have 2 tablespoons, or I guess 2 units, my apologies. We have 2 tablespoons and we have milliliters. Only one of those units has information that provides us with a full understanding of the problem. 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons, that is our given. And I just highlighted that twice. 2 tablespoons is our given because we know all the information about it that we need. We can actually, and I'm going to do this, we can actually rewrite this problem in a way that is more simplified. So we have 2 tablespoons and we want to know how many milliliters that is. All right, so this is a great way of simplifying your word problems. Just rewrite it in that fashion. Step 2, we need to select our equivalents. And remember, this is for this problem here. 2 tablespoons is equal to how many milliliters? We need an equation, right? It's going to have an equal sign in the middle that is going to get us from tablespoons to milliliters. Is there an approved, simplified, approximate equivalent that will get us from teaspoons to milliliters? Yes, there is. We know that 1 tablespoon is equivalent to 15 milliliters. So this is going to be our equivalent. I'm just going to write EQ for that. 1 tablespoon is equal to 15 milliliters. Step 3, we need to follow this formula. This is our formula here. Given over 1 times the unit you're changing to over the unit you're changing from. Now listen. This can be kind of a pain to think about in this manner, and so I have a pro tip for you guys. For repeated success during dosage calculations, set them all up by asking yourself this question, okay? If this unit is here, meaning in this location, meaning on top of the fraction on the left, what unit must go here, or this box, the bottom unit on the right? I'll give you guys a hint. The answer is always the same unit. So if this unit, tablespoons, is here, what unit must go here? The answer is tablespoons. That way, remember we canceled those units earlier? That way we can cancel those units. So let's follow that formula. Step 3A, write your given over 1. We have 2 tablespoons, and I'm going to make this green just so that way we have it later all color-coded, over 1. That's step 3A. Moving on to step 3B. Rewrite your selected conversion as a fraction. And we're going to multiply this to our given over 1. Remember, our conversion equation, our equivalent, is 1 tablespoon is equal to 15 milliliters. Now we ask ourselves, right? We always ask ourselves, if this unit is here, what must go here? The same unit, always. Now we look at our conversion equation. We have here 2 numbers and 2 units, 1 tablespoon and 15 milliliters. Only one of those has anything to do with tablespoons, and so we're going to put that side of the equation down on the bottom of this second fraction. Now we don't have to worry about that. We can ignore it for now. That leaves only 15 milliliters to go into the rest of this equation, so we put that on top. Step 4, we're going to cancel some units. We have tablespoons on top and tablespoons on the bottom, which means we can get rid of them. They are canceled. They have been removed from the situation. Which brings us to step 5, calculate. What we're left with is 2 times 15 milliliters on top, or 30 milliliters, and it's always super important that you remember to keep the unit there, over 1 times 1, which is just 1, which we all know, right? Anything over 1 is itself. And so our answer is that 30 milliliters is equal to 2 tablespoons. I hope that this helps. Stay tuned, and we will have a video on changing dosages. Yep, thank you, Moose.